Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Happy Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining us. Resolutions. They're so they're so elusive. They're enticing. You feel great trying to make one and they don't work. I'll tell you a story about my buddy who invested in some sports clubs. Ever tell you this story once? Is great. I got a friend who invested in some sports clubs. Like New York Sports Club, like that type of stuff. LA Fitness, like that type, but a smaller version of that. So he got like a board seat. It wasn't a massive company, but it was a nice size, more regional. And he invested some money in, and for his investment, they either let him come to the board meeting or he went to I don't know, put him on a board or something like that. But he was in some important meeting with all the execs, and he's like a smart guy. But I love him. But he's smart and he likes to. He's just smart. Let's leave it like that. He's a smart guy. So he's in the board meeting, and he's like looking at the numbers that they pass around the financials and all the details, and he's like doing some back of the envelope calculate. He's a very smart math head, and he like came up with something that he thought everybody missed. So they're talking about the plan, the strategy for the year, and he says, "Can I ask a question?" They go, "Yeah." He goes, "Listen, I'm doing just some calculations here. Based on the equipment that you have in these gyms, they it only services 150 people, but your membership rolls are 1,000 people. So what's your plan for what happens if 1,000 people show up to the gym and there's only 100? Like, they're all going to leave. Like, what's your plan for servicing the people? Like, you don't have enough equipment for them." So he tells me, like, as soon as he says that, like, they look at each other like, like, who brought the rookie? Like, that's your question? Like, they look at each other like, for real? We gotta waste time with this dude? Like, come on. Like, they pat him on the head. And he's like, what? Like, it's a great question. They're like, and like the junior, executive, like the youngest guy turns to me and goes, "Yeah, there was only 1,000 people that signed up in January. Like, by February they stopped coming. Like, January, everyone joins the gym in January, so they all sign up, and in January we have to like figure out how to do it, and we shifts or whatever it is, and we make it work, and then summertime they show up a little bit again, but most people have a gym membership for when they're gonna go to the gym. New Year's resolutions, that's what it is. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna get in shape. So you go down to the gym first, second, third, fourth, fifth time. That's it. By February, wait, you're back to who you are. Yeah, come on. Literally, the gyms have. It's an amazing model. People sign up, and they show up for like 1 month. Why? Because they never wanted to go to the gym. Because if they wanted to go to the gym, they would have gone in November. They would have gone in October. They want to go to the gym. That's what it is. You see, what a resolution is what you want to want. Right? I want to be healthy. I want to be more family oriented. Right? There's a famous story of one of the paratroopers, if you remember, this is a great story. One of the paratroopers in 1967, when the Israeli forces liberated the Jerusalem and the Western Wall in the 6-Day War. So you can imagine the Jews reconnected to the remnants of the temple. It was an amazing moment. If you just picture it, if you have the time just to Google now, you can see like the actual army radio command of the moment where they entered the old city and they took back the kotel. It's called the Western Wall, and people crying, and they blew the shofar, and it was an amazing moment. Can you imagine, after 2,000 years away? And there was one soldier famously that just stood on the side. He wasn't at all connected to his Jewish Israeli soldiers, never had anything. And halfway through, he starts to cry. And they're the soldiers who were already bawling and kissing the wall, and turn to him and say, "What are you crying for?" And he says, "I'm crying." I'm saying it in Hebrew just so that it's a little more authentic. I'll translate it just for those who understand Hebrew. He says, "Ani bocheh al ma shani lo bocheh." I'm crying because I'm not crying. That powerful? Like everyone's crying. This is some kind of Jewish moment. This is our this is our history coming back. I am one of the soldiers that brought the Jewish people back to its temple for 2,000 years, and everyone's crying, and I'm not crying. What he's saying, and what I want to make clear here is that what a resolution is, whether it's New Year's or any other time, what a resolution is a want to want. That's what it is. And you got to know that. Because if you don't know it, you think you want it, the neural map in your head is already stronger than some weak want it. That's why it doesn't last. That's why it doesn't last. It's not just New Year's, by the way. There's a lot of people that make resolutions by Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, for those who are for the Jews that are watching, and whatever holidays that you're celebrating. But I know the Jewish ones. There's a lot of people that make resolutions. They don't call them resolutions, but they are, and it lasts just long enough to be done with it. The September holidays, the October holidays, and then we're back to life. You know why? Because we don't really want to do it. Because if we wanted to do it, we would have done it. What we want to do it. And so, in a moment of newness, of shift, of change, of opportunity, in a moment of a high or a low, in a moment of introspection, that deeper want to want comes out and it presents itself. And because we're in this unique place of anything is possible when we get close to an end, right? Like we said about the guy who taught me how to wake up in the morning, right? When we go to bed at night, we all want to want, but really it's when you wake up. Once someone told me, they were trying to study more and be more learned, and they couldn't get up in the morning. They couldn't get up in the morning. And every time they set up their alarm and they couldn't do it and blah, 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 blah. And then they had a flight to catch and they got up. So I'm like, how come when you had a flight to catch, you got up? But when you had to go and meet your study partner to study this thing or to learn this thing or to get whatever, you couldn't get up. Because you wanted to make your plane. You only wanted to get up to learn. And if you don't know the distinction, you can't figure we're constantly lost to how come it's not working. But once we're honest with ourselves as to what's in our hearts, then we can start to build a stronger system to make us successful. See, resolutions, especially when you have these types of resolutions, event-based resolutions, they're not wants, they're wants to wants. I want to be with my family so much that I'll make it for them. I want to be connected to depth so badly that I'm going to go make time for it. I want to be healthy, speak properly, be a paradigm of giving, whatever. I want this. And so I don't want it now because I'd be doing it. But because I'm in this moment, because I'm in this unique moment of New Year's or whatever it is that brings me here, whatever is causing me to make a New Year's resolution, that thing, that is an unearthing of a desire that is deeper than the current operating system that I call my life. That's a powerful moment because you have something that you want that may be different than what I want. Right? When you're at a moment of a high or a low, God forbid, when you're at a new moment, right? When you are starting from scratch, and for those who have been with the show from the real beginning, you remember what we used to do? We used to journal. Do you remember the journal days? We used to journal all the time. One of the journals that we used to do is the ideal day. Do you remember that? For those that have been with you for a long time, if Andy's listening, Andy will tell you. We used to journal when we first started the show. And one of the journal days was the ideal day, where you write a date into the future. And you picture. This is we'll talk about this maybe in another episode, but I'll do it very quickly for those that want to jump in here. You future, whatever, January 3rd, 2025, 2032, right? And then you picture being there, and then you write down one day. Woke up at this time, I went here, I did this, I can't believe that I'm with this person, I live in this place. And that's what you don't get in. You just cup of coffee, an hour, and you just live in La La Land. And what that does is it starts to unearth the things you want to be that may have been buried in your life. But if it's 5 years out or 10 years out, anything's possible. It buries the things, it unearths the things that you wanted to accomplish that maybe you're not allowing yourself to because of the current daily schedule. And it's valuable information to know what you deep down want, because that's giving you an indication of what you should be doing to some extent. You see, me and you are on a mission in this world. Our lives are not random. We're placed here to do something, to bring something out into the world, to be somebody. We have unique talents. We have unique gifts. We have unique desires. I want something that you may not care about, and you may want something that I don't even know exists. That's okay. That's called life. That's how God runs this world. We have a mission. And it's a complex mission. And one of the ways we know what our mission is by allowing the thoughts come out of what we want to do. What we want to want is really valuable, because wanting to want begins the process of getting underneath what's inside us, but what this world and maybe our own insecurities and our own failures and our own lack of confidence has stopped us from being able to at least articulate that I want. So if you really, really get into it, we don't just say that make the same 4 resolutions that everyone else makes, but if we really say, I want to make a resolution of what I want to become in 2022, don't just like this, more money, less weight, what the usual Western nonsense. It's nice, but the usual Western stuff. If we take a moment today and ask ourselves, what is it that I really, 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 if I could pick one thing that I get in 2022, what is that? I get one thing. It's a gift. What do I want to want? If you don't have that clarity, how are you going to get it? The world's not giving it to you. The world's giving you more stuff to buy. The world's giving you a treadmill to get on. The world ain't giving you. That's for sure. Think about that. All right, let's think about that together. The want to want. If I can pick one thing to be, to do, to have this year, 2022. So next January 3rd, I have it, I am it. What's that thing? The relationship with whom? Being what? Having what? What's the thing that's inside me that I don't even allow myself to think I can get? I want, but in a moment. But don't, you have a resolution. Dig. All right. We'll talk. All right, everybody, have a great day. With God's help, I can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.
Living on a lifeline. The world doesn't ever seem to change. Looking for the sunshine, but you're caught up in the rain. It's like your eyes are wide open, but you cannot see. You're watching life pass you by like 1, 2, 3. Walking in destruction, The winds of life blur your vision, all the devastation. Forever feels like you're on the run, it's time. No one else can set you free, you're locked inside. And only you have got the key.